In this lecture, we will talk about no authentication, how no authentication works, and how we can use that. So, no authentication, as we already discussed, it doesn't take any kind of authentication to access you the API. It gets you, or it can give you the resource which you are looking for without putting any sort of authentication. So there are few examples like exchange rate API, which is the most popular these days. Then we have got US population data. You can also use that. IP5 to get the IP ranges. So if we open here, which is exchange rate API, if you click on this, it is going to give you the exchange rate based on the currency. If you wanted to get the exchange rate, suppose that you have got USD and then you wanted to get the exchange rate against USD, you can use this API and then you can see what are the exchange rates. So if we wanted to see this into the beautify way, we can just go ahead and beautify this with the help of a site called Code Beautify and then beautify it. So you can see here base currency is USD. That means we wanted to convert from USD to USD. It is going to 1. Australian dollar is going to be 3.675. Sorry, this is some other. This is the Australian dollars. Then we have got Canadian dollars. So these are all the exchange rates for not all the countries, but yeah, for most of the countries that you are looking for. If I try to search for INR, we will see that this is the exchange rate for 2 days date. 1 USD is equivalent to 73.14 INR. So that's how you can access. There is no sort of authentication which is there for you. You can just go ahead and then access that. If you wanted to try some other base currencies, you can just try to hit that base currency. There are some error we are getting. This is not the correct code. GBP is the correct code if we try to see, and then we are able to see all other currencies against GBP, which is the pound sign. So now it is a GBP, and then we can see all those exchange rate are over here. Most of the time we are working for a client where we have got multi-currency enabled, and then we wanted to have these exchange rates populated into our system. Then we can use this API. We also have got US population data, we have got IP5, and there are multiple APIs which you can leverage from this link. So this document will be with you. You can just go ahead and try to find out more APIs. Next that we have is we have got API key authentication. This is again a very simple authentication, and as we discussed, it takes one unique API key to authenticate against the system. So you must need to pass the API key into the URL parameter, and whatever the resource you are trying to access, if those resources are valid, then you will be able to see the data, the response from that system. For example, if you see that this is a very simple URL where I've given example.com users.json and key equal to whatever the key I have. API key header, you can see host is example.com and this is our API key. So that's how you do use API key authentication. And for example, here you can see we are using open case geocoding API. This is the API which also we are going to talk about into the coming lectures. But this API is using API key for the authentication. So if you see into the URL, this is the URL like api.opencasedata.com geocode version 1 JSON, and then whatever the information we wanted to access. So basically this API is kind of used to get the latitude and longitude based on the provided address, or provided address based on the latitude and longitude. I'm not sure if this key is a valid key or not, but we can just quickly try to click on this URL and see if we are able to get some data for that or not. So you can see here we got the information about a particular latitude and longitude, and then if we scroll down to the bottom, we will see that this is the address from some sort of address which is here you can find that, and it is a kind of a restaurant into the Europe central region. So that is how you use this API key authentication. We will also talk about more whenever we are talking about this integration with open case data. So that's all about our API key authentication and our no authentication in this lecture. We will meet you into the next lecture. Thank you.